Think about one task your team does every single week that takes longer than it should. Maybe it's putting together a status report, drafting a response to a customer inquiry, screening through a stack of resumes when you're trying to fill a position, writing a summary of a meeting. Now imagine a tool that could take a first pass on that task in about 30 seconds. Not perfectly, but good enough that the person on your team is editing and refining, not starting from scratch. Now that's not a fantasy. That tool, many of your competitors are already using. I hear a lot of hesitation and confusion from small and mid-sized business leaders when it comes to AI. And I get it. The noise is overwhelming. The claims are overblown. And there are real questions about whether any of this applies to an organization of your size. But here's what I want to share with you today. This episode isn't about hype. It's not a prediction about where AI is going in the next 10 years. It's really a direct conversation about one thing. As a business leader, you need a position on AI. Because not having one is itself a decision, and it's not a good one.
Welcome to End Business Tech Frustration, the podcast for small and mid-sized business leaders and entrepreneurs who are struggling with technology that is not meeting their business needs. I'm Jim Kenyon, and for more than 35 years, I've helped businesses fix their tech, align their people and processes, and implement systems that actually work. In each episode, I break down real stories, practical strategies, and simple frameworks that help you choose the right tools, roll them out the right way, and build a business that runs smoothly. If your technology isn't supporting your business and delivering the results that you need, you're in the right place. Let's get started.
Today I want to talk to you about AI, not the version you read about in tech publications, the version instead that is relevant right now in a business your size with the resources you actually have. On March 9th, the Wall Street Journal published an article with a headline that really caught my attention. The headline was, "AI needs management consultants after all." The story was about large organizations with significant resources and dedicated technology teams that are now engaging management consulting firms specifically to help them figure out their AI strategy. They want to answer the question, how are we going to approach AI and get real results? Now think about that for a moment. The largest, most resourced organizations in the world are treating AI strategy as a serious enough business priority that they are paying outside firms to help them develop it. And if you're running a business with 10 employees, or 50, or 150, or maybe this is just a solo business for you, you might be thinking, that's a big company problem, not mine. I'd question that. Because what this article tells me is that this is not a future problem. It's not something you can put on next year's agenda. AI is already changing how work gets done across every industry. And the question is not whether it's going to affect your business. The question is really whether you're going to shape the answer or let it shape you. And this is exactly what I've been seeing with businesses of all sizes. Now, here's the way I'm thinking about it. You don't have to embrace AI enthusiastically. You don't have to overhaul your operations next quarter. But you do need a position. You need to be able to answer two questions. First, are you going to figure out how to use AI in your organization? And if the answer is yes, where and how? Or are you not going to use it? And if so, how are you going to compete with organizations that are using it? One of those has to be your answer. There's no third option. So let me make this relatable to you. Because when I say AI in your business, I want you to have a concrete picture of what that actually looks like. There are essentially 3 levels at which AI can show up in a small or mid-sized organization right now. The first one is information and support. So this is the most accessible entry point, and honestly, it's where most people start without even thinking about their AI strategy. So you're asking AI for information, research, and to answer specific questions. For example, how do you do something you've never done before? Or helping draft a communication you're not sure on how to word. Or a summary of a long document you just don't have time to read at this time. So think of it as a research assistant and a writing partner that is available at any hour, never gets frustrated, and has a great, genuinely broad base of knowledge. It doesn't replace judgment, it supports it. It gets you started. So for a small team, this alone can meaningfully reduce the time your people spend on tasks that aren't the core to their jobs. Second, the second level is automating activities. For example, drafting a newsletter based on a set of key points which you provide, or screening resumes against some defined criteria that you've provided, or preparing and sending a standard offer letter once a hiring decision has been made, or for that matter, generating a weekly report from data your system already captures. These aren't tasks that disappear. They still need a human in the loop for review, for approval, but the time it takes to get from this needs to happen to this is ready to go gets dramatically shortened. So for a small organization where everybody is already stretched, this is a great competitive advantage. So the third level is evaluation and recommendations. This is where AI moves from doing tasks to informing decisions. Predictive maintenance on equipment is an example, where it can flag when something is likely to need service before it fails. Or inventory replenishment forecasting, which is based upon some type of current customer demands. Or purchasing recommendations driven by what your customers are currently actually buying and when. So this level requires more setup, and it's not where most small organizations should start. But I want you to know it's available, because a lot of the tools that deliver this capability are no longer enterprise-only based. They are accessible at a price point that fits a small or mid-sized business budget. So the key point I want you to take from these 3 levels is you don't have to start with the most complex version. Most small and mid-sized organizations should begin at level 1, practical, immediate, low risk. And then from there build as they get more comfortable. Now, before I leave you with your action items, I want to make sure that I address something that you may not be thinking about. As you explore AI tools, and especially as your team starts experimenting with them, you need to think carefully about what you're putting into the AI. When you enter information into an AI tool, that information goes somewhere. Different tools handle it differently. Some use your input to improve their predictive models. Some just store it. Some don't. And some wall off your information from the rest of the world. So the terms vary, and if you haven't read them, you may not know what you're agreeing to. I'm not saying this to create fear. I'm saying this because the value you've built in your business, your processes, your customer relationships, your pricing strategies, your competitive advantages. That's your intellectual capital. And you need to be intentional about how much of it you're comfortable putting into a system that you don't fully control. Some things are fine to put in. General writing tasks, publicly available research, routine communications, they're all low risk. Other things deserve more caution. Proprietary processes, detailed customer data, financial modeling, basically anything that gives you a competitive edge. So think carefully before you put any of those things in an external tool. And here's the practical reality. Your team is probably already using AI tools on their own. They're using it without a policy, without guardrails, because the tools are free. And they're easy, and they make people's jobs easier. So that's not a reason to panic. It's a reason to get ahead of it. Set a simple internal position now. Identify what's acceptable and what's not. And you want to do this before the habits are already formed. So before I wrap up, I want to leave you with 3 questions. And these are worth sitting down and actually working through, not just listening to on the run and forgetting about. First, what is your organization's current position on AI? Even we're watching and evaluating is a legitimate answer. What's not a legitimate answer is not having an answer at all. Second, where is one place AI could save your team real time in the next 90 days? Pick something specific, a report, a communication, a process step, one thing. Just start there. Third, what do you need to put in place to make sure your team is using AI safely, so that they use it without accidentally putting something valuable into the system that you can't control?
Thanks for listening to End Business Tech Frustration. If you enjoyed today's episode, subscribe or follow the show so that you never miss an insight. And if your business is struggling with technology that doesn't support your goals, connect with me on LinkedIn. I'd love to hear how technology is impacting your business, whether it's good, bad, or just downright painful. Remember, your technology should empower your people, strengthen your processes, and make your business thrive. If it's not doing that, I'm here to help you get your tech right and to get real value from it. See you in the next episode.